you. There's a feeling in my heart so strange, baby.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today I'm bringing you all of the fall vibes because we have a very fall themed video, kind of. I'm going to be talking all about fall and winter houseplant tips and prep and what to expect. I think for a lot of plant parents, especially new plant parents, this is going to be the first winter with a large houseplant collection. So I've been getting so many requests to talk about this topic, so that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. And not only that, but this video is actually a collab with Lulu's Leaves, which is really exciting because I don't think I've done a collab yet on this channel. So this video is actually one of two parts, and the other part you're going to be able to find on Lucia's channel. So I'm going to link her down below. She is another Canadian plant tuber, and I know a lot of my viewers are Canadian because you guys comment about how it's nice to have someone that's relatable to watch. So another Canadian plant tuber for you if you are not subscribed to her already. Her houseplant collection is a lot more extensive than mine, so yeah, definitely go check her out. She is actually going to be covering the topics of lighting and humidity. So I am not really going to be talking about those topics, but I will be talking about a few other topics and some helpful tips to get you guys all prepared for winter. Okay, so the first topic I'm going to talk about is one that you guys ask me about all the time as well, and that is pest prevention. So not just in the fall, but anytime the seasons change tends to be when pests populations really spike, unfortunately. I feel like the most common one is spider mites. I don't know if that's particularly a fall thing, but that seems to be the most common pest that comes for me, and I did have a really bad spider mite breakout last fall, which was an absolute nightmare. So the first thing I can recommend is to really monitor your plants, you guys. Like, keep a close eye on your collection, especially on plants that are prone to spider mites. So alocasia, calathea, those types of plants, just really look at the leaves. Look for any signs of webbing or any type of bugs on your plants. And the second thing that goes along with that is pest prevention. It's much easier to prevent pests than to treat them. And personally, I like to treat my plants with a neem oil solution. And you guys, I always say a neem oil solution, and I get comments that say neem oil does not treat spider mites, but my neem oil solution is neem oil, either Dr. Bronner's Castile soap or dish soap, some type of soap, water, and alcohol, like rubbing alcohol that you can get at the drugstore. So I dilute all of those in water. I will put like a ratio you can use on the screen. I have shown it in other videos before, but I will put it here for you guys as well. And what I do is I not only just spray it on all the leaves, you have to spray the front and the back, the stem, everything. And then I like to rub it. Like, I rub so that I'm actually removing anything that is on the leaves. I know that Rachel from Heart Shaped Leaves has a really awesome method for this, and she uses a makeup brush, which I have done before. I'm just like, oh, I'm so lazy, you guys. If it's a plant that I really care about, or it's just like one plant and it doesn't have a lot of leaves, then I will use that method. But if you have a whole bunch to do, or if you're just like lazy like me, I'll just rub the solution on the plant on the front and the back, just to make sure you're breaking up any like webbing or anything that is on there and knocking the insects off instead of just like coating it. And another question that I get asked a lot is whether I wash the neem oil off. And for me personally, I don't, but you can. It's totally fine. If you do leave it on though, it's best to do it in the evening because your plants are going to be more prone to burn. So do not apply neem oil and then put your plants in a sunny spot because it will increase their chances of leaf burn. Around these parts though, sunshine is kind of a thing of the past. We are going into the rainy season, so I don't really have to worry about that. But yes, I know some other tips that people suggest are like misting your plants or keeping the humidity high to prevent spider mites and pests, and also like showering your plants down when you water them. So if you are a dedicated, responsible plant parent and you're just doing the solution prophylactically, then you don't really have to worry so much about the rubbing and whatnot. That's more if you have an active pest outbreak. If you are just doing it prophylactically and you're on top of things, I would suggest spraying your plants down at least once a month, like every 3 to 4 weeks would be sufficient. However, I'm giving this advice, but it's a do what I say, not what I do type of thing, because like I said, I'm a lazy plant parent and I never stay on top of my pest management. I am always scrambling, dealing with a pest outbreak, because I just have so many plants. It would take forever to be spraying them down every month, you know what I mean? So I just like to keep a close eye, and then as soon as I find a pest, then I will do that treatment. And if you do have a pest outbreak, you need to be doing that like every 2 to 3 days until it's gone. And I would do that for probably a couple of weeks just to make sure you've gotten rid of it. And whenever I have any sort of pest outbreak, I also wash the area down as well. So if it's plants on a windowsill, I will take everything off of that windowsill and I will wash the whole windowsill, the walls, like the whole area, just to make sure that nothing is hanging out there. So yeah, pest management is honestly a nightmare. Pests are my least favorite part of owning houseplants. It's super stressful when you get an outbreak. So, you know, just know you're not alone. Every plant parent goes through it at some point. It is just a thing. Oh, also another tip is to make sure you're quarantining your new plants that you bring home from the nursery. Do not just put them on a shelf with a bunch of other plants, because, you know, if that thing has a pest, boom, your whole shelf is gonna have a pest. So I would definitely keep it at least like a week, maybe 2 weeks, separate from your collection. So I do that solution for spider mites and thrips. Those are the 2 things I've dealt with. And the other pests that I've also had are scale and mealybugs, and for those it's very effective to just take a Q-tip and dip it in rubbing alcohol and rub it right on the pest, because those ones are big enough that you can kind of see the individual ones and get rid of them that way. And then after that's done, then I spray with the solution. So yeah, sorry, that was a really long section, but pest management is a really huge thing when we are going into fall and winter. And spider mites also love the dry heat, so when we have our heaters going and whatnot in the winter, it's just like the perfect environment for them. Which brings me to another topic, which is placement of your plants during the winter time. So you have to really think about where your plants are going to be happy in the winter time, because you are not going to want to have plants near heat vents. Trust me, you are not. They will crisp up. It's going to be way too dry for them. You also do not want to have plants on a windowsill if it's very cold, if there's any type of cold draft. Same with by doors. I'm just thinking right now, I have a euphorbia and cactus right by where my front door opens, and I'm probably gonna have to move those in the winter because it's gonna be so drafty, and it's just not a great spot for plants to be in the fall and winter. Where I live, it doesn't get super cold, so I'm able to keep plants on my windowsill for the most part. I haven't really noticed any problems in the past with that. But if you have a lot of snow and freezing temperatures where you live, then you're probably gonna want to just take them off. Like, I have my windowsill and then I have my desk here, so I would want to take them probably off of the windowsill and just put them on the desk instead. Obviously, with our heat running in the winter time, it is going to make the air quite a bit drier, so that's where humidifiers really come into play. Very important in the winter time if you have a lot of houseplants, and especially plants like calathea and alocasia that like to be in a really humid environment. Most tropicals actually, philodendron, monstera, they all love a more humid environment. Some are more tolerant than others. Also, lighting is a huge issue in the winter time. You might be lucky and live somewhere that remains sunny in the winter, but for me, it is so cloudy in the winter time, so I really have to consider that in placement as well. I end up mostly using grow lights in the winter, to be honest. Like right now, my blinds are closed. My plants are just have grow lights because I'm not getting that much light. It's super cloudy outside anyways. Lighting and humidity are both such huge topics for the winter time, which is why they are going to be covered over on Lulu's leaves. Okay, another thing that we need to be aware of is that our watering habits and routine is going to totally change. In the wintertime, our plants are going to require much less water because it is not their growing season. They are not using as much light and energy. Sorry, my battery died, but we are back. As I was saying, our plants are not in their growing season and it is much cooler, so they are not requiring as much water, which is kind of nice, honestly. I remember in the spring, I was like, could not keep up with how fast my plants were drying out because I was used to winter watering. So it's kind of nice to just like slow things down, and yeah, I kind of enjoy that aspect of winter. If you're not super confident on knowing when you should water, or you tend to overwater, I would definitely use a moisture meter. They are like 10 bucks. I still use my moisture meter all the time. It's super helpful. And when in doubt, I like to err on the side of underwatering, which I know isn't great sometimes either, but overwatering is just oof, all the bad things. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is repotting and kind of getting everyone settled in for the winter. So I honestly don't think it's horrible to repot during the winter, but I kind of like to get all of my repotting done by the end of October. It's still quite warm in October here, so I kind of get like that extra month. I know it's already cold by that time in some places, but yeah, I like to just kind of make a list of everyone that I need to repot and try to get it all done. There are some plants that I really need to get moss poles for, either get moss poles or make moss poles. We shall see. But I'm gonna have to do some repotting and get everyone set up with their poles. So I plan to do that by hopefully mid to end October, and just, you know, have everyone good. We can just all buckle down for the winter, and yeah, it'll be great. And then nobody should really need to be repotted in the winter because they're not going to be like growing super rapidly. If you're in a pinch and it's January and you really need to repot, then I would just go ahead and do it. I've never had anything terrible happen from doing that, but yeah, I just know in general it's best to repot during the growing season opposed to during the winter. And then my last tip is just not to panic if you're seeing dead leaves or if your plants aren't really growing. That is totally normal. It is the cycle of nature. And to be completely honest, you will probably lose plants, a plant or two. I lost, I think, 1 or 2 plants last winter. It happens. Some plants really hate winter. Oh, and some plants go totally dormant in the winter. I know some alocasia are known to drop all their leaves in the winter and then they'll come back in the spring. So that type of stuff can happen as well. But yes, if your plants are not doing super hot throughout the winter, don't beat yourself up. It's all good. They will probably recover and be fine in the spring. And then the spring is so exciting because then they're taking off again and growing and thriving. And it's just such a beautiful thing. But yes, it's literally just the cycle of life and it's all good. Do not fret, my friends. Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful to you guys, especially to you newer plant parents buckling down for winter. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to link the other part down below. You can go check out Lulu's leaves. And please leave me a comment, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any more tips that you would like to add as well. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure everyone else would as well. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.